Have you ever picked up your phone for just 1 minute and suddenly realized an hour disappeared? You check one notification, then another, then a video, then a message, then somehow, without even thinking about it, your brain slips into autopilot. And before the day even begins, your attention is already gone. Now, imagine something strange. Imagine waking up tomorrow and your phone is gone. No scrolling, no notifications, no social media, no endless checking. Just silence. What would happen to your brain? Most people think they would feel relaxed, free, peaceful. But that's not what happens at first. In fact, for many people, the first few hours feel uncomfortable, almost painful. You reach for your pocket automatically. You unlock your screen, even when there's nothing there. Your brain starts craving stimulation. And suddenly, you realize something shocking. You were not just using your phone. Your brain was depending on it. Today, we're going to explore what really happens when you spend one full day without your phone. Not just emotionally, but mentally, chemically, psychologically. Because the effects are far deeper than most people realize. And by the end of this video, you may never look at your phone the same way again. Let's begin. The first thing that happens is your brain panics. Not dramatically, quietly. Your phone has trained your brain to expect constant stimulation. Every notification, every scroll, every like, every short video. Each one gives your brain a tiny hit of dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical connected to motivation, reward, and anticipation, and modern phones are designed perfectly to keep triggering it. That's why you keep checking your phone even when nothing important is happening. Your brain is chasing the possibility of something interesting, a message, a surprise, a distraction, a reward. And when you suddenly remove the phone, your brain notices immediately. It feels bored, restless, uncomfortable. You may start walking around more, checking things repeatedly, feeling strangely empty. Not because life is empty, but because your brain is no longer getting constant stimulation. And this is where most people fail. They mistake silence for boredom. But silence is not boredom. Silence is what your brain sounds like when it finally has space to think. Now here's where things get interesting. After a few hours without your phone, your attention starts changing. Normally, your brain is constantly switching focus. Notification, video, message, scroll, repeat. This trains your attention span to become shorter and weaker. Your brain gets used to fast rewards, fast entertainment, fast stimulation. And slowly, normal life begins to feel too slow. Reading feels harder. Thinking deeply feels harder. Even sitting quietly feels uncomfortable because your brain has adapted to constant interruption. But without your phone, something unexpected begins to happen. Your attention starts slowing down. At first, it feels strange, but then your brain begins adjusting. You notice details around you, sounds, thoughts, your environment. You become more present. And for the first time in a long time, your mind stops running in 10 different directions at once. But then comes the hardest part, the thoughts. Without distraction, your real thoughts finally become louder. This is the moment most people try to escape, because phones don't just entertain us, they distract us from ourselves, from stress, loneliness, fear, overthinking, sadness. The moment silence appears, unresolved thoughts rise to the surface, and that can feel overwhelming. You may suddenly remember things you've been avoiding, conversations, problems, emotions, dreams you ignored. And this is why so many people are terrified of being alone without stimulation. Not because silence is dangerous, but because silence reveals what noise has been hiding. Now listen carefully. This part is important. Your phone is not the enemy. Technology is not evil. The real problem is unconscious use. When your brain never gets rest, it never resets. Imagine running a computer with 50 tabs open all day long. Eventually, it slows down, overheats, freezes. That's exactly what happens to your mind. Constant scrolling creates mental clutter. Your brain never fully relaxes. Even when you're resting, your mind stays stimulated. And over time, this affects everything: your focus, your sleep, your mood, your memory, even your happiness. Because happiness needs presence, and presence becomes impossible when your attention is constantly pulled away. Now here's the surprising part. After enough time away from your phone, your brain begins healing. You breathe slower. Your thoughts become clearer. Your nervous system relaxes. And small things start feeling meaningful again. A walk feels peaceful. Music feels deeper. Conversations feel more real. You notice things you normally ignore: the sky, the wind, your own thoughts. And something strange begins happening. You stop needing constant stimulation to feel okay. That's real mental recovery. For the first time, your brain is no longer reacting every few seconds. It's simply existing. And that changes your emotional state more than you realize. Research has shown that constant phone use increases stress, anxiety, and mental fatigue. Not because phones are bad, but because your brain was never designed to process endless information all day long. Think about it. Every time you scroll, your brain processes emotions, comparisons, opinions, images, sounds, and information at extreme speed. And your nervous system never fully rests. No wonder so many people feel exhausted even after doing nothing. Their brain never stopped working. Now, imagine giving your mind one full day of recovery. No endless noise, no notifications, no pressure to respond instantly. Just space, just breathing room. That's powerful. And honestly, a little rare nowadays. Because modern life is addicted to stimulation. People are scared of waiting in silence, scared of sitting alone, scared of boredom. But boredom is not useless. Boredom is where creativity begins. It's where self-awareness begins. It's where your brain finally reconnects with reality instead of constant distraction. Some of the best ideas you've ever had probably came when you were not scrolling, in the shower, walking, lying in bed, looking out a window. That's not an accident. That's your brain finally having room to think freely. Now, does this mean you should throw your phone away forever? No, that's not realistic. Your phone is a tool. But the question is, are you controlling the tool, or is the tool controlling you? Because many people no longer use their phones intentionally. They react automatically. Wake up arrow, check phone. Bored arrow, check phone. Sad arrow, check phone. Awkward silence arrow, check phone. And eventually, the brain loses its ability to simply be still. That's why even a single day without your phone can feel so powerful. It reminds your brain what calm actually feels like. So here's a challenge. Try spending just one part of your day without your phone. Maybe the first hour after waking up. Maybe during a walk. Maybe before bed. Notice what happens. Notice how uncomfortable it feels at first. And then notice how your mind slowly changes. Because the goal is not to escape technology. The goal is to stop losing yourself inside it. Your attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Whatever controls your attention controls your life. And maybe the real reason your mind feels tired all the time is not because life is too hard. Maybe it's because your brain never gets silence anymore. So take a breath. Put the phone down for a moment and listen carefully. Your mind might have something important to say.